All right, now for something a little different. We are on beta.riseofthepixels.com. I am going to sign in using Keychain. As you can see, there are several other sign-in options. I'm basically going to be talking today about Rise of the Pixels. Rise of the Pixels is a new game developed by me. No, I didn't develop it. I helped. I was on the team. But this is the same team that created Peak D, Peak Monsters, Hive Hub, and many tools on the Hive blockchain. And now it's a game, an NFT-based game. Let's see, this is the front. You get to manage your game development studio. Basically, it's a game where you create games. And so when you come in here to the main site, riseofthepixels.com, which releases 1 week from today. The day I'm recording is the 15th, so the 22nd it releases. And on that day, it will be live. But right now, you can go in here, you can hit shop, and you can get yourself a license for $8 using Hive tokens, and then extra packs for $3 each. Now, the license does have a pack in it, and it's a bit of a better pack. It's called a starter pack. So whereas these packs have 100 pixel coins, these licenses will have more than that. And you'll be guaranteed a developer card because you want cards because these developers are going to help you create games. All right. So, what is the essence of this? Um, let's go over to the dashboard. Basically, if I go to my resources, because I've already purchased my cards, and here they all are. Here's all these developers: Daphne Schaefer and Byton Williams. He's good at chess. And if we click on him, we have a whole bio, and we see skills, speed, cost. This is a developer, and he's got some things going on. So, all right, good old Byton. He can create games for you, and so could any of these others. They can create games. So you want to buy packs, and you'll get a developer, and you'll also get an accessory. So Byton maybe wants a more upgraded keyboard, like this cyber monitor, and so you could equip him. Oh, it's already equipped on someone. So you could take this Maverick mouse and equip it to Byton. So, anyways, and then have them develop games, and that's what I'm gonna walk through and show you. But first, I kind of just wanted to walk through it. We've got the project hub where you can create a new game. You can see all the games that I created during this time in beta. But I could also do some research so that I could improve my I could have the save game ability. I could have basic AI. I could have side scrolling. These are all kind of old stuff, right? If you look at this as like an old Atari looking sort of thing. I want to take a moment to talk about the Pixelverse, Rise of the Pixels. So what happened here is that um, these so people from Earth discovered another dimension, and this kind of dimension we call it the Pixelverse, where all these people live and work and do stuff. And so this team from Earth, our team from Earth, had negotiations with the people of the Pixelverse, and we had recognized that they were starting to get into there's a lot of similarities with Earth, but they were starting to get into more technology and computers a little bit behind where Earth is, but they're advancing fast, much faster than Earth, but they're just a little bit behind. So they're kind of in the 80s. If you look here, some of the hairstyles are a little more 80s-esque, and some of the names are somewhat familiar. Thelma, Thelma and Louise. I mean, that's obviously not Thelma from Thelma and Louise, but I mean, they're in their era where a lot of the parents are naming people Thelma and Diddy, like, Diddy Kong. They're just kind of naming them Patch, like Patch Adams, or um, anyways, a lot of different things that you may have found in the 80s are kind of there, and some of the accessories and some of just a lot of the stuff and this research stuff, very 80s-esque. Well, there we made this negotiation with the Pixelverse that people from Earth would come in and basically help the Pixelians. So they're from the Pixelverse, they're the Pixelians. So we're helping the Pixelians to develop video games because we've got a lot of experience with video games, don't we? The people of Earth know their video games well. So we're going to help them create video games like Apocalypse or Point and Click Pirates or Rhythm and Rumble Arena. So these are some of the games that, together with some of the Pixelian workers, we were able to keep to create this game called the Rhythm Rumble Arena. So when I go in and I create a new game, I'm working with my Pixelian workers, but I get to choose a lot of this stuff. So what I'm going to do is make it a small team. Instead of one team member as a solo, I'm going to do 3 team members. And the idea is that in future editions, you'll even be able to have larger and larger teams. But these are the ones that we're focusing on now, the genres, the types of games. Do you want a fighting game? Do you want an RPG? Do you want a point and click game? Let's do adventure game. And the theme, let's do an adventure space. Now let's do adventure ninja game. And what should we put it on? PC, console, arcade? Those Pixelians are learning how to develop on each of these things. So we're going to do it as a console game. And then we hit next. And so we're going to figure out what it should be called. Ninja Adventure, because I am so dang um, creative, but it's very similar to a Earth game called Final Adventure or Ninja Adventure to the Moon or to the Jungle. All right. Um, help ninjas. Uh, the ninjas are conquering the jungle. Uh, to save the world. All right, and so for the time being, what's happening is all adventure and all ninja type pictures are here. Oh, look, this guy's kind of in the jungle. So we're going to use that one. The pictures they're not fully integrated into the game mechanics yet, and we've got some fun things stored for people being able to create their own game covers in the future, but not yet. So we're going to hit continue. So we have decided a category, genre, theme, platform, gave it a name, gave it a description. Now we're going to assign 3 team members because we chose to make it 3 team members. So I've got legendary, purples epics, we got blues are rares, we got commons are grays. I have a lot of cards, more than I'll actually have when the game comes out in a week from now. This is just kind of for testing purposes. So we could say, let's have Lara Crosby. I could learn about her, but we added her to the game. Let's add in an epic. We got a common. Let's add in Trace Cosby. Well, we're just going to have a lot of Cosbys. So you can see there's red around them. 2 out of 3 members selected. you can see their stats. So this person has 7 skill, this person has 3. So this epic is basically twice as skilled, um, and more than twice as fast. But look here, their price per hour is well over twice. So there's that as well. Now, you can get a legendary, a epic, rare, or common when you open a pack. The odds are 1 in 100 that it will be a legendary, but it's not guaranteed depending on your recruiter. And we'll go through the recruiters later. But there is no way to get a mythic in a pack. So what I've done, we found out that there's something a little bit different in the Pixelverse. We found out if that these people, these Pixalians, had similar names. So if there was a two roses that were epics, I think it's actually if there's 3 roses that are epics, you could combine all 3 of them and they would turn into a legendary. Now, it was the same thing with legendaries. 2 of them would combine into a mythic, and then you would see that they would have 1 extra trait, and they'd be able to work longer, they'd go up in speed, skill, obviously still their price per hour would go up. But I'm going to choose one of these mythics to join in this ninja adventure. But first, I want to see, did I make it I made it a console game. So one interesting thing about Calamity is that when she's working on a PC platform, she actually adds +1 skill, which is pretty awesome. And this person adds +3 speed when working on a PC platform. So honestly, if I had to do it all over again, I'd probably go back and change it to a PC because I got some good PC people. So this one's an RC racer. That's not going to help too much. Um, let's see. Hawkeye. What does a Hawkeye do? It works better with a monitor. Falconer, survivalist, chess player, dungeon master, reality crafter. None of these people are good on my game. That is too bad. I need an adventure type person. We're Pathfinder. Adventure game. All right, we're going to add in Yuffie because adds a +1 speed when working on an adventure game. So that's awesome. You can see her speeds kind of boosted over here, I believe. If we unclick her, we can see Yuffie is, well, 8.2. It doesn't show up here, but she will have a +1 on adventure games. So that does count. All right. Now, there are things that you can do with your workers. You can have them go into the project hub and start a game, or they can go and research different things. And this is what we're seeing here. So I'm going to look for stuff that's good for, um, uh, well, I'm going to be using a controller. That's good. And we are going to, ooh, animated sprites is good for controller. Level and world, that's good. All right, but each time that I use this research, it's going to cost a little bit, but that's not much, 18. Whereas some of my workers are 18 an hour, and that's 18 just to start with. So I did a lot of research, and you can see that that research is having an impact in these 3 areas. Not a lot, 2.3, 3%, 6%, but the level of research that I've done isn't very high. All right, another thing that we found out about the Pixelverse is that their time is a little bit different, in that um, one of our hours was kind of like a week to them. So to us, you're saying, okay, this project may take 6 hours for us, but it's going to take 6 weeks for them. And that's kind of like judging off of how much impact it has on the workers. And because they're getting older every day, they don't really die. Your NFTs stay with you forever. However, they do kind of transition to a more of a mentorship, and they won't be full-time workers, development leads at some point. But it takes a lot of time for that to happen. So you can use your workers for a long time. All right. So if I make it a 12-week project, which is 12 hours to us, I have 42 development points. The reality is that this is kind of the game. You are trying to figure out, oh, this is a big part of the game. There's a lot of things going on, but you're trying to figure out what would be best for a ninja adventure game. What is the best recipe? And then you can kind of repeat it to some extent in the future. But a ninja game that is adventure. I am going to say graphics, controllers got to be really important. I don't know that sound is super high on the list. I think everything needs to be at least 3. And then we see we have 12 points. Level and world, dialogues can stay low, story and quest up 1, gameplay up to 6, engine 6. I'll keep sound low. All right, we got 3 more points if I want to do a 12-hour game. I don't think dialogue, ninjas don't talk too much. I'm going to go up 1 with the level, and I'm going to go up with story and quest 1, and 1 with gameplay. All right, we're going to hit continue. And my workers, I had, obviously, if you see here, I had 3.8 per hour, 9.7, 10.6. So if you added that up, that's something like 19, 22, 23 per hour. And I've chosen a 12-hour game. So it's 290 pixels plus my 28 in research costs. We're looking at 318 pixels, and you get pixels with every pixel coins with every game. As you see over here, I have 45,000, but you will be able to earn some. Now, there is a thing going on here where you can't, like, legally speaking, we cannot do anything that would be like you buying pixel crypto from us. So that is not possible. What we are giving you are non-transferable coins. These are non-transferable, and you get to spend them on the projects that you work on research, on training, and eventually more things. Now, if you wanted to buy and sell this like on Hive Engine, on Tribal Dex, like as a crypto, you would need this to be tokens. When you play the game, you'll earn in tokens because you're not getting it from us, you're getting it from the algorithm that is controlling the game. So that's that. That's how this works. All right, so we are spending 318, but the hope is that we're going to get more than 318. Basically, you're not giving it to us either. You are putting it in a pool. So we are creating this game. We're putting it in a pool, and everyone else that is creating this game. So here's our game that we created, Ninja Adventure. It's going to be released in 12 days or 12 hours. And then it will go up against all the other games that are being created right now. And then they'll all pool the money, and those that have the higher scores. Now, actually, this is kind of fun if you want to look at top sellers. So you can look at the ones that are presently on sale. And this Mercurio has one called Girls Just Want to Have Fun. And it got an 8.2, which is pretty darn high, as you can see. There's a lot that are 4s, 5s. So 8.2 is like one of the highest scoring games, and he has 21 hours, 21 rounds, 21 hours to earn, and each and it pulls up based on his game, which is a casual zombie game that is arcade. So all the other arcade games is who he's going against. So we're on sale arcade games, and I think he is it's an 8-bit arcade, probably, and probably for this price, 680, it's probably a small. So yep, there we go. So all four of these have all pooled their coins or tokens into the pool. 148, 228, 184, 680. And so in that whole pool, they've all pooled it. And every round, they divvied up based on kind of ratings. So obviously, girls just want to have fun is going to get the largest portion because it has the top rating. Now, I wouldn't call this game a way to like get rich. I wouldn't call this game you're gonna like 20x your money. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be kind of addictive. You're gonna want to build up your studio. You're gonna want to um, raise the XP of your different developers. You're gonna want to raise the reputation of your studio. As you can see, mine is 15 on the beta, so it hasn't really started so much. And you're just going to want to do a few things. And yes, you could earn some. So if we look at retired arcade games, um, this person put 1,585 pixel into the pool. They had some very expensive workers, but in the end, they ended up with 2,200. Good job, P-Funk. They ended up with 2,200 pixel. Um, yeah, so someone spent a lot of money on a game and didn't quite earn it back. So if we go down, there's a lot of games that have been created. If we look down here, this game put 277 in and got 261. So you pull it up, um, all this stuff, but also anytime money is spent on research, on researching something, or training a developer or a designer, or using your research, it all goes into a pool as well. So that's why you want to keep playing and playing and getting from the pool. So this is pretty good, to be honest. And the fact that it only took him 24 hours to make that good of a game, so he probably got a little bit of a boost because he put more time into the game. But you could put more time into it and get a really good game that gets better rewards and raises your reputation, because a bad game could lower your reputation. So there's all sorts of things going on. There are different pools as well. Like there's a PC, console, and arcade, and then there's solo and small for each of those. So genre and theme are kind of there's no separate pool for them, but there are random events. Let's say if we go into Project Hub and we look at, let's go to leaderboard. The top game is girls just want to have fun. The top game for the whole entire day is girls just want to have fun, and it is a casual zombie. So what could happen is that the market could have events. Well, the market will have events. But let's say there is a game out there. If I go back to top sellers of all time, one of the top games of all time, um, let's see, rating, one of the top rated games of all time was Ultimate Racing Challenge. So as a racing game, it it did super good. That may cause a market event where racing games become really popular for the next 24 hours, our 24 hours, and become really popular, and so there may be an incentive to do racing games, get a little bit more from the pool. So as you can see, there is a bunch going on. I've showed you the basics of how to create a game. And yes, you could even use like ChatGPT to come up with titles and descriptions. But you're going to want to fill out those, like, I want graphics to be here, I want this to be here. And you're going to want to choose the right people for the right job. And let me show you something else. When we go to My Resources and we go to the team, you can see that they've got 94 XP, and there is a limit to how many XP. If you go to the rule book, let me open up the rule book in another tab. You can kind of see right here. I'm at 94, but I could take that guy up to quite a bit higher. I think it's at 6,000 or 600. I should double check. Anyways, you're going to do quite a few games to be there, but at the end, when they hit their max, it's fine because they will transition to being mentors over the other developers. So that is your NFTs will always have use. They will always have use. They can go and they can do research. They can go and train, and each of those things it's using a little bit of their XP, their hours. But one perk is when I get up to 720 hours on a common, they'll learn a new trait. And same thing with mythics, they have 3 to begin with, but if I use them enough, I'm at 100. If I get up to 1920, they'll learn another trait. And then again, they'll have 5 traits and be just super powerful, awesome developers, kind of like the programmer Asgarth is in real life. He is a programmer that's multiples of better than many other programmers and can do things faster and more skilled, and sometimes 2 to 3 times more skilled and faster than other developers in real life. So this kind of mimics, to an extent, real life. So anyways, as you can see here, I've equipped some of these guys and girls with keyboards. So look, I'm going to put that keyboard on Duke Jones. And so that'll increase his skill and his speed a little bit when he uses that keyboard. But it also will cost a little bit. As you can see, I've not put him to too much work, 12, which I guess means I probably put him on a 1 12-hour development assignment, one game that was 12 hours long. So anyways, you can see his skill and speed boosted. You can see it go up because of the boost, which is the keyboard. So that's fun. All right. So, and this is also where you can go in here and say, oh, look, I'm going to do a search for a name. There happens to be some Jarvies in this game. A lot of common Jarvies. This is the gray right here. So I love when they have um what is a nickname. So oh, look at this, 2 Isaria Jarvies. So you get a fusion point for the first name and a fusion point for the last name. So that's pretty cool. So we are going to fuse Isaria Jarvie with Isaria Jarvie, and now it should give me oh, I guess it gives me 3 points. Look at that. So if I did that, that'd be 1 point. But because there's 2 connections, that's 2 additional points. Now we just have to get to 5 fusion points when they're common. And look, I'm not going to even use a a Jarvie, I'm going to use a Zira Cosby because they are the same picture. This is what happens to the Pixelverse. First name, last name, picture, or nickname. So there we go. We're up to 4 points. And Isaria is the same there. So now we can combine all of these into one Isaria Jarvie that is a rare card. And so she'll get new sets of stats. Isaria Jarvie, she didn't get a trait this time. That's all right. I was hoping for one. But the skills are definitely much higher than this, like 2 to 3. We've got 4 skills. And the price does go up, but we're going to create much better games. It's not just about getting the game done, but having skill and speed when you do it, which is going to be helpful for your games. So when I hit fuse, I'll see that I can't combine a rare card with commons, but I can see that there's a lot of commons that I could combine with later. So I'm going to take this Remington and combine the Isaria with it. It won't move up to the next level, which is okay. I don't think it automatically refreshes, so I'm going to do this real fast. Jarvie, did I sign the transaction? Why didn't it? Oh, it didn't work. Okay, confirm, sign the transaction. Oh, we didn't ever see the skip waiting. We never quite did it. All right, so this fusing thing is pretty fun. This is one of the reasons that I'm waiting for the release, and I'm going to open up my packs. And if I don't get like the most amazing cards, like a lot to fuse together, I'm going to go to the marketplace and kind of fuse and find some stuff that you guys list. So I got 2 fusion points. We need to get to 4. So if I upgraded 2 of these guys, then I'd have 2 more to combine with Remington, and I'd get him up to an epic. Does that make sense? So you can search. That's not the way the accessories work. We got legendaries, epics, and commons. There is a technology that will be developed soon for accessories. One thing people ask is, can you buy a lot of packs and get like a bonus pack? No, but you can get bonus cards because in the Pixelverse there are recruiters. So Grace is this recruiter that really she doesn't even charge for her services. She just is looking out for her fellow Pixelians, and she really wants to get them employed, learning how to develop video games. So what she's willing to do for you is if you have 100 packs, when you open 100 packs, she will recruit 4% more team members. So if you open 100, you'll end up with 104 team members, which is pretty awesome. If you open 200, you'll end up with 210 team members. Now this next Sid Meier, this next recruiter does charge, and he does require that your studio's reputation be at least 15. There's a couple other recruiters. We're still in negotiations with these recruiters, trying to figure out who they want to work with, what kind of studios. And they're just like, hey, you guys haven't even started. You're like in this test phase. Once your studios get going, we will work with them and we'll figure out our price at that point. So we're like, okay. But they know how to get some mythics. This John does. John Carmack and Ada helps guarantee drop rates. So Sid, he doesn't get you like extra workers, but what he does get you is a guarantee that he can find you a legendary every time that you open 100. And he could find you an epic every time you open 25 packs. He is going to guarantee that he can get you an Epic developer. So pretty good, Sid. You don't have to use them. You can work with Grace. She's great too. So you can also just, go into the marketplace and just hire some people. So you only really need one developer. As you create a job, you could do a one-person job. Your starter pack comes with a developer. I put a designer in here, but you need to have at least one developer on every project. So I'll come back in 12 hours, and at that point we'll release the game, which will have costed 290 plus the research costs. And then I'm just going to hope that in that preceding, 20 something round or 20 something hours, that the game goes up against some other games that maybe didn't do as quite as good as mine, and I take a little bit more from the pool, which is inflated by all the stuff that goes in for research, training, resources, almost to the point that there is possibilities that everyone in the pool earns more than they put in when you do a game because of all the research, training, and all that sort of stuff. Training is interesting because let's say you have someone that is so select a team member to start training course and replace one of their traits with a new trait in the team domain. So, and so these are the three people that are in the training. I am going to I'm going to take Rose, who's good at working. You know what? I just want to do a level 1 person. So the problem solver, dude, Boris Eastwood. So we're going to change his trait of being able to work better with games that do point and click, and we're going to give him uh, uh, an ability in the team domain. So one trait, and then it's going to be replaced. It is going to take me a little bit of time, a day and 3 hours, because they're working on it, and this is their speed, 7.2, and it's going to cost 397 to change their trait. So do you really want to do it? Sure, why not? I've got lots of pixels. I want to just develop really good games so that I can. Um, I really want to have really high quality games. There is 6 students in this class. There's 8 seat capacity, so we could do this one, and we could train someone with what is this theme? It says the wrong thing here, but it will change the theme. So if we go here to chess player, we're going to change chess player. There we go. And it's only 178 this time around to learn this skill. We got a couple people training that will boost their XP, that will give them things that you want to focus on. If you want to have a team of 3 people that are all good at working as a team, and they all get that boost, and then you give them another trait that they all have in common, you could really focus on that sort of, style of game. And then when there's events where that want a different style, then you're out of luck, but maybe you have some other developers working with you. So there will be a marketplace where you can buy and sell using pixel tokens, not coins, because coins aren't transferable. That is a legal issue here on Earth. Pixelverse doesn't care too much about it, but Earth does. So, all right. So you can go in and oh, I forgot to show. Let's go to top sellers. This is kind of fun. Let's look at just random Pirate Pete at a 5.6. We can click here on reviews and see all these fun reviews when you do a game. In Pirate Pete, the portrayal of pirates may raise some eyebrows in terms of historical accuracy. So one thing about Siren Journey Wokefield is that she's pretty woke. So some of her stuff, she's kind of nitpicky on her reviews. The game's depiction of pirate life leans heavily on stereotypes, which could be seen as problematic. The lack of diversity in the pirate characters. And yeah, so this is her review. It's very different than Archie Arcade, um, who, yeah. So these are three people that do reviews, AI reviews for, well, they're reviews. Technically, behind the scenes, what we've done is use ChatGPT to help translate, let's say, what's going on from these, um, like this Archie writes for the Retro Realm review. So, anyways, but there's also some developers, some people on different studios. So this guy from Axe Guy Studio wrote a review of this game as well. So you may find that interesting to read the reviews. You can see how it's going for earning rewards. And in the future, there's just going to be lots more stuff that you will be able to play with and should be pretty excited about. You'll be able to do pay for technical analysis of the game so you can kind of learn how to play a little bit better, or watch some YouTube videos from other people if they share their insights and secrets. Um, yeah, all sorts of stuff going on. If you have any questions, here's a link to our Discord. If you want to check the rules, here's the rule book. And you'll want to go to Rise of the Pixel, grab a license, and you could start playing just with the license, so $8. Or you can try to get more developers so you can have a small team, or train one of them while the others are developing, or have them work on research, or just kind of trade them off because they may have different tools and techniques, or just keep an eye on the marketplace starting the 22nd and buy some cards. So there is a rundown, a good 40-minute rundown of how to play the game. There is more involved, but I just wanted to do that for now. So I hope you enjoyed that.